Did ancient people have cats for pets? The answer to this question is fairly obvious, and cats have been appreciated by mankind for thousands of years. It is accepted that cats were a vital part of life in ancient Egypt. Thousands upon thousands have been found in a mummified state, and besides serving a very useful purpose, they also provided comfort and dedication to their owners. I found a most interesting article this morning that I would like to share at least parts of it with you. This concerns a unique archaeological find here in the United States, the first ever of its kind. It tells of a 2,000-year-old bobcat that was found in a burial mound in Illinois, and remarkably, this bobcat was buried wearing a collar of shell and various other beads. What could this possibly indicate? Well, this could have been a beloved pet, and let me quote a paragraph from the article I spoke of, and I quote, "No other wildcat has been buried alongside humans in the entire archaeological record of North America. This bobcat was buried with its paws respectively placed together and wearing a necktie composed of shells, bare teeth, and marine animals. It was estimated to be about 4 to 7 months old at the time of its burial." There can really be at least two schools of thought on this amazing find. First, that it was indeed a pet, though it's difficult to domesticate a wildcat, but not impossible. The second is that the people of this that produced this burial, that to them the cat may have had spiritual and religious purposes for them. This cat could have been perhaps a totem or even a spirit guide. In this situation, we will probably never know the exact reason for the cat's interment with these people. Kenneth Farnsworth, a Hopewell expert at the Illinois State Archaeological Society, commented, "I have never seen anything like it in 70 excavated mounds. Somebody important must have convinced other members of the group that the burial must be done in this specific way. I would give anything to know why." End his quote. In my mind, setting aside the cold hard facts of professional archaeology, there is little doubt that the burial was of spiritual significance and that these people respected and revered the prowess of the amazing bobcat. They are impressive animals, and their stalking and killing skill is probably unrivaled among North American wildlife. They deserve respect. I have only seen one in the wild, and it was truly an impressive sight to behold. Curiously, when the remains were first found in the 1980s, before a highway project was to arrive, this bundle was labeled as a puppy burial, and it was set aside and pretty much forgotten about. It was not until 2011 that it was looked at again. Now, as I said earlier, many people believe cats were first domesticated in ancient Egypt. However, our very special association with our feline friends goes back much, much further. In fact, evidence now suggests that our relationship began way back in Mesopotamia, about 12,000 years BCE, about the same time as dog, sheep, and goats. The reason for their domestication, again, seems pretty obvious. It was a win-win situation. The cats gained, and humans gained. You see, as humans became more oriented to growing wheat and other such commodities, mice would have become rampant. A perfect setup. Likely our ancestors saw the cats feasting on the mice, who were feasting on the grain, and likely saw the cats as good. For thousands of years ago, in ancient Egypt, the same scenario played out. The cats protected the grain, and the people protected the cats, and soon the cats earned a place in our hearts. But their place in ancient Egyptian society went far, far, far deeper, because cats were soon worshipped. In ancient Egypt, they were known as Mau, M-A-U, and were considered to be very sacred. The discovery of DNA has been a major shot in the arm for archaeology, and thanks to DNA comparisons, we know that today's cats, domesticated cats, are descended from a Middle Eastern subspecies of the wildcat. Praised for controlling vermin and its ability to kill snakes, such as cobras, the domesticated cat became a symbol of grace and poise. The goddess Maftet, the deification of justice and execution, was a lion-headed goddess of Egypt, and the cat goddess Bast, also known as Bastet, eventually replaced Mafet and Bast's image softened over time, and she became the deity representing protection, fertility, and motherhood. As a revered animal and one important to the Egyptian society and religion, some cats received the same mummification after death as humans did. Mummified cats were given an offering to Bast. In 1888, an Egyptian farmer uncovered a large tomb with mummified cats and kittens. This discovery outside the town of Beni Hassan had 80,000 cat mummies dated after 1000 BC. And almost completely, these were ground down and used for fertilizer in England. And as far as is known of that find, only one specimen remains, and that is in the British Museum. Since cats first made their way into men's hearts, they have endeared themselves as companions to us. They are actually, depending on breed, every bit as loyal as a dog is. There was a brief period in the Middle Ages where cats became not only unpopular, but were thought to be in league with the devil. Quite a contrast from the time they were worshipped in Egypt, where a person could be put to death for mistreating a cat. The Catholic Church in England were part to blame for the outbreak of the Black Death, the plague. It was the Catholic Church that led the way in the pronouncement that cats were evil and associated with the devil and should be killed. So cats were killed in mass, and in turn rats and mice that carried the plague increased prolifically, and thus the plague turned into a pandemic, taking an incredible toll on life. Cats were tied to good health when they were allowed to grow in numbers. It is probably from that time frame that the superstitions about the black cats arose. I have two black Burmese cats. One is Charlie, and the other is Polly. And Charlie is without a doubt my very best friend, hands down, ever, except for my Lord Jesus. Both of these cats are truly beautiful animals, and when my Charlie is laying in the direct sunlight, he is more deep chocolate brown than black, a very, very lovely color. Polly, on the other hand, looks solid black, but in direct sunlight has faint stripes in his fur. Burmese are the only kinds of cats that I will ever have. They are not happy just being around you. They are happy being an integral part of your life, being involved in just about everything. Polly is the most talkative cat that I've ever seen in my life. But here, let's take a look at some of the superstitions surrounding the famous black cat. I will count them down for you. Number 1, many are wondering, is it good to have a black cat in the house? The most interesting superstition about the black cat is that it is good to have one black cat in the house. Number 2, it is good to have a black cat as a pet. I can vouch for that. Number 3, if a black cat comes across you in the morning, it brings you bad luck. But number 4, if a black cat turns back to you, or its back to you, it also brings bad luck to you. Number 5, Irish people believe that an epidemic will forestall if a black cat crosses a road during the moonlight. Number 6, one superstition says that it's a good sign if a black cat is in the audience at the day of the premiere of a play. Number 7, English sailors believe that a black cat on the board begins a calm sea and salty sailing. Number 8, and last, some Englishmen believe that it is a good habit to give a black cat as a present to the bride on her wedding day to ensure a happy lifetime with her newfound husband. Of course, there are many types of cat breeds, and I could cover some of them here, but I want to say a little bit about the Burmese because they are my favorite breed of cat. The Burmese are fairly compact cats. However, my Charlie is long and slender, a very beautiful animal. They are often described as a brick wrapped in silk because they are so heavy for their size. And they are active and always want to be involved with what you are doing. And if you get a Burmese, you are getting someone who truly wants to be your companion. The Burmese comes in a variety of colors. The short, fine fur may be the original dark brown, such as my two cats. There is also a champagne color, which is light brown, and a blue and a platinum colored Burmese cat. The Burmese, as I said, is an outgoing and entertaining cat who loves people. When he's not showing off his athletic skills by leaping the highest spot from the highest spot or to the highest spot in the room, he is snuggling in a lap or carrying on a conversation in a voice that is variously described as raspy, rumbling, and soft. He is a willing playmate of children, even submitting to being dressed up and pushed around in a doll buggy. The Burmese thrives on attention and will follow you around when you are home. He disapproves of being left alone for long periods, and, naturally, he likes to have his own way. Beware the hypnotic power of their golden eyes. Oh, too late. He's already in charge of your household. Certainly both Charlie and Polly are in charge of the household here. I am totally mystified when I'll look at Charlie and he's sitting there staring intently at me, wondering what he's thinking about. And also with Charlie, David and I have been taking him outdoors on a leash and trying to train him to walk with the leash, and he does good when he wants to, but he is a little bit bullheaded, and he lets you know in darn short order that he's the one in control. And the silky coat of the Burmese does not shed much and is easy to groom with weekly brushing, and the only other grooming requires a regular nail trimming and ear cleaning. The Burmese is well suited to any home, with people who will love him and give him the attention and love that it desires. Keep him indoors to protect him from cars, diseases spread by other cats, and attacks from other animals. So in conclusion, here are a few facts about Burmese kittens. All Burmese cats descended from a single chocolate-colored cat named Wong Mao. The Burmese are cuddlers and love sitting on your lap, and they act like your lap was created by God just for them. Burmese are vocal and have a deep, almost rumbling voice. There are many other breeds of cats and much more to be said about the feline. But in the small scope of this presentation, this is all I'll be talking about. Please share your comments about your cat, no matter what breed it is. I started out this program with the find of a bobcat wearing a necklace and buried some 2,000 years ago in Illinois. I would be delighted to hear your thoughts on that cat and that burial also. Thank you for taking the time to tune in here as always, and be safe, pray always, and trust in the Lord Jesus Christ.